Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and this is the weekly angel card reading for the week 7th of November through to the 11th, 2016. 11/11 this Friday. It's my favourite day of the entire year because 11 is my favourite number. So when it's repeated in a date like that, I just love it. That's because the repetition of the number 1 is an angel sign. So if you happen to look at your phone and it's 11/11 or 1/11, that's a sign for you to tune in. Say thank you to the angels for being there because they're saying hello there. So say thank you for being there to help me. And it's also a sign. Sometimes it's a sign to clear up your thoughts. Often I notice it at a time when I'm going through a sort of negative series of thoughts in my head, and that's sort of like I'll snap out of it and just to tune back into what I actually want to create. So I might say, thank you so much for all the love in my life. I'd like to create more love in my life. Thank you. So anything like that. It's just like an opportunity to tune in. So let's see what the angels have in store for us this week coming. So I'm going to start with this particular deck, the Daily Guidance from Your Angels card deck for Monday. I don't usually show you guys what card deck I'm doing, but I know some of you sometimes ask. All the cards I use are by Doreen Virtue. She is who I trained with and got my Angel Intuitive certificate with. But there's a lot of different cards out there, so it's entirely up to you what your preference is as to what you use yourself, and as to which card decks the angel reader that you go and see will use. These are just my favourite, but I use a different deck for every day of the week. So see, whoa, not done a very good job shuffling here, so I'm going to go back here. Okay. Heart chakra, beautiful. Chakras, just in the very simplest form, are energy centers located just outside the body in your energy field. We often talk about someone's aura, and an aura is the energy field. That's what it is. It's just outside the body. It's what I work in when I'm doing Reiki on you, and your life force runs through it. However, there are tons of chakras actually, but the ones that we use in energy healing, just the 7 main ones, the heart is one of them. It's the 4th one. It's located about here, and it is where we give and receive love from. So it gets blocked by grief, and it gets blocked by heartbreak, obviously. So grief and loss are the main themes here, and the opportunity for us is to try and open our hearts, even when it's scary to do so, even when we associate opening our hearts with being destroyed and being vulnerable and being hurt. And to open up our hearts, particularly when we don't want to. Now that doesn't mean if it is actually unsafe for you to trust someone, go with that, but it does mean we need to kind of tear down some of the walls that we've put around our hearts. So those of you who have been through grief lately, this one in particular is for you because, as you know, grief is something that stays with you. We talk about time healing all wounds, but it doesn't really. It just makes you a little easier to go on. Grief is something that doesn't go away. So, but yeah, as I say, it does get easier to heal and to find your way through. There's also a message here, not just for us to remove any blocks to our heart chakra, but it's also a message here for us to just use our heart as our kind of like the north on your compass, you know, like the center point from where you start, everything starts from. So if you're making a decision or if you're just deciding how to respond to a situation, you go to the heart space and that will help you navigate your way through. So it's about opening up and to try and bring a love energy into situations that are particularly difficult. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to, if you're dealing with someone who's just really unkind and treating you badly, that doesn't mean that you have to allow them to do that, but it does mean that you have to trust your heart. And if your heart says to extend love into the situation, then go with that. But if your heart says, I need protection, you need to back away, then go with that. It's a difficult thing to listen to, the heart, because it's always right, but it's, you know, it's like our kryptonites. We were most vulnerable and it can be hard to expose it for that reason. So Tuesday the 8th. Wish I could tell like a joke while I'm shuffling, just to I just feel really self-conscious. I can't shuffle any faster. It takes as long as it takes for the right card to appear. So you just have to put up with looking at me while I do this. Wow, they're really making me wait this time. I think there's a lesson here for me about patience, which was actually a theme about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? The cards. There we go. I got the message, thank you. Career transition, excellent. Now, this is not a time of year that we often think about going through career transition. Well, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere anyway, because most corporations are starting to wind down before we get to Christmas and not thinking about extending their workforce. However, career transition, they're saying what they're highlighting most here is self-employment. So if you've got a side project you're thinking of embarking on, or it might not be something you're even necessarily thinking of as a career yet, but something that you want to do on the side that could potentially lead to a career, they want you to kind of explore that idea and to start thinking about it. For a lot of you, this is just going to go, yep, got it, straight away, because it's the sign you've been waiting for about changing your career. For others of you, if you're perfectly happy in your career, then maybe it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to understand. But they are flagging here, they're showing me like a river that's running fast. So there is movement going on, and perhaps you're going to see an opportunity in your place of business for you to take on different roles and to expand a little. But they are saying they just want you to open up to the idea of change in some way. Whatever that means is going to be dependent on your situation. But yeah, things are going to start to move for a lot of people in terms of their career. And that might not necessarily be the actual job they have. It might be in terms of what they want to aim at. It might be that you start thinking about, is this where I want to be? Maybe I need to do some more training. So they're just sowing the seeds here for you to start thinking about change. But if you already know what change you want to make and you've already got your eye on a certain position, go for it. So Wednesday, the 9th of November. Signs. We had this card, I believe, 3 weeks ago. Oh, it matches my dress. That's pretty. Sorry, I get distracted by pretty things. So signs, it comes up all the time, and I talk about it all the time because it's one of the greatest ways that we can communicate with the angels. You know, we communicate through our intuition, but it's difficult. Sometimes we misunderstand. We need clarity. We're not sure. And so the best course of action always is to ask for a sign. So typical signs include, but are not limited to, rainbows, cloud formations in particular, and unique shapes, found coins. Obviously, finding a coin in your wallet is not a sign, because that's where your coins probably are all the time. It's in unexpected places, really. Feathers, of course, that's a big one, because we associate angels, of course, as having wings. They don't actually have wings because they don't need to fly. They don't have gravity, but because they know that we associate them as having feathers, having wings, they have used feathers as a means to communicate with us. And what else? Butterflies. A cluster of butterflies in particular is quite a potent symbol. So ask for a sign, whatever you need to know. Is this right for me? Do I need to call this person? Do I need to... What do I need to do? If you're thinking about maybe the career transition, is this job worth me going for? Ask for a sign. Give me a sign I can easily understand, please. Don't go out looking for it. Really important, because if you do, you will overanalyze everything. It'll catch you. It'll find you. You don't need to look for it. Signs are also just really wonderful ways to know that the angels are with you. I've seen signs when I haven't asked for something in particular. And in that case, it's really just the angels saying, we're here. Hello, don't despair. We're looking after you. Everything is going to be okay. Thursday, the 10th of November. Integrity. It's a big word. One of my favourite words, actually. I've got a lot of favourites, as you can tell. Integrity is one of my favourite words because it is a core value. And values are something that I come back to all the time, particularly if I'm struggling with something. What do I value? Because if you know what you value, and that might be time with your children, or that might be, I don't know, holidays, whatever it is that you value, and there'll be a long list, I'm sure. There should be. That is what will help you make a decision. In terms of integrity, they're saying this is mostly about people. It's not so much about your own integrity, although of course that's always important. It's about the integrity that people treat you with. So if someone is acting in a way towards you that you don't think, you feel is not quite authentic, or is perhaps unscrupulous, it's integrity. If they're doing something that doesn't align with your own values, it doesn't feel quite right, it feels like it's lacking some essential kind of component, as hard as it is to kind of put your finger on that, then be wary about them, because even if they're not necessarily going to, your actions are not necessarily going to affect you directly, that sort of energy is not healthy for you to be around. Now, sometimes we can't get away from people who don't act with integrity. We all work with people like this, and that's kind of par for the course. But we can choose to isolate ourselves a lot more and to not let our concerns weigh us down, to not let our concerns about them weigh us down. Okay, that's their stuff, this is mine. Okay, so if you can't physically isolate yourself, emotionally, try to emotionally isolate yourself. This card does come up for people who are going off track and who need to return to their own core values, and to make sure that they are acting with integrity and not trying to manipulate someone indirectly in in some sort of bid for control or power. That's not really coming up here, they're saying, but I'm just bringing this up for you because I'm speaking to a very wide audience here, and you're all going to take different things from these cards. So I like to present other options sometimes, and it may be that sits in the back of your mind and reminds you later on down the track of something that you need to know. I never know how my words are going to be received. I don't have any attachment to what you take from it. I just have to, put out the messages that I'm being told to put out. So with my own flavour, obviously, because I'm me. Even though I'm a messenger, I still, I'm delivering them in a way that's unique to me. So, and that's why every reader will have something different to tell you. Friday the 11th, hey, favourite day. Whoop, card jumps straight out. Activist. Now, when I'm doing a reading for someone, I always translate this as advocate, because the word activist sounds a little bit revolutionary and a little bit dangerous. That's not what it means, but it can. I know that word can have it can have connotations that aren't quite reflective of the nature of this card, because what this card is about is for standing up for what you believe in and for the people that are important to you. So for some of you, you need to be an advocate for people in your life who are not being treated well or who are in need, and you will know it'll be the people who jump into your mind straight away usually. And for some of you, you need to stand up for yourself. What's going on? Where are you being what's the word I'm looking for here? Where are you being shortchanged? Where are you inadvertently being led by someone else? So advocate, and it may be perhaps that it is an issue here, because when we think activist, we think of issues. Perhaps you are feeling a particular connection to an environmental issue, and if you are, then the world needs a lot more environmental warriors, so that's terrific. But mostly it's just about standing up for what is important to you, particularly around people, but also around yourself. Standing up for yourself and not getting dragged along with the current. So when I look back, let's see if I can try and get this around the right way this time. I just managed to get a little confused. We've got a message here about the heart chakra and giving and receiving love and feeling safe enough to do that. Career changes. That one's going to hit some of you in unexpected ways. Signs. Looking up for signs. I love that message because it's always welcome. Always. Integrity. Truth. Really, truth is the underlying theme here. And being an advocate. That's the week. Have an amazing week. I hope those messages resonate for you. I hope that you can connect with them and take from them what you need to help you as you continue doing the things that you want to do in your life, trying to create what you want to create, and trying to be the best human that you can be. Thank you so much for your love and support. Have an amazing week, and I will read for you next week. Thank you.